Welcome to Reverent and Rebellious, a safe space for faith-based conversations on the things that nobody seems to want to talk about these days. We are reverent, we value truth, we elevate scripture, but we are also rebellious. We shatter myths and we destroy dogma, so jump in. Join us, Logan, Pat, and me, the brother Peter, as we get reverent and we get rebellious.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
What's up,
everybody?
We got a stranger in the house.
That's exactly right. Yes. We got the band back together.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
So happy about that.
Yep.
How you doing tonight, Pat?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm COVID free.
You are not contagious.
I'm not contagious anymore.
At least in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, that word's despicable. I'm still despicable.
Yeah.
I'm just not contagious.
You're just rebellious, Pat. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despicable you.
Yeah, despicable you. Yeah, man. Glad for us all to be back together here in studio. And,
yeah, y'all had a lot of short hair over at this end of the table.
It certainly was.
Really
I kept
wild.
telling them, like, if you're going to be over there, you got to grow the hair out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only way it's going to work. And a lot less tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Peter were thinking about going and getting some tats just to make up for it.
Yeah, we're just to compensate. Yeah,
Yep.
that's exactly
Squares.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to get my ear pierced.
You should.
Yeah, you know.
I used to have mine pierced.
Oh, you told me that.
Yeah.
You still got the hole there,
I
don't
still
you?
got the hole.
Yeah.
I could put it back in if I wanted to.
That's what you need to bust out one Sunday.
I'll
I
bring you
do.
some hoops, man.
Yeah.
Some of them old
I
heads.
probably still have a couple of hoops at the house.
Yeah. Some of them old heads would be.
Oh, they would love it.
They'd have a corner.
They would love it.
They'd have a corner.
Yes.
All right. Hey, that's a good one. That's a perfect segue. Here's what we want you to do. We need you to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and comment below if you think Peter needs to put in a hoop in one of his ears and bust up in there. You know, I feel like, especially at Christmas, when you bust out maybe like the purple coat or, you know, go all out, a gold hoop would
That might be a good thing. I don't know.
That would really set
it
it
would
off.
never happen. You remember the jorts challenge?
I know.
And
Yeah.
it never happened.
Yeah, that never happened either.
Well,
One thing I did notice is that we did pick up several new followers on Spotify.
okay.
So a few people responded. We need a few more, a bunch more, honestly. So we're now almost up to 80. We need 256
Yes.
to be in our median range in podcasts of our style and type.
Well, y'all are,
So-
we're at least on a positive trajectory.
Yes, exactly.
And how you can help there is if you leave us 5-star ratings on Apple and on Spotify and hit that follow button. And I think we said this maybe last week. Yeah, wherever you listen, go subscribe on the other platform as well.
Yeah, you don't have to go over there and listen there, but subscribe, follow, like, review on all the different platforms, because every time you do that, it helps us. And just like the way, you know, if you comment on the YouTube channel and if you share, if you give us the thumbs up, all of those things, they're just little things, but every little bit will help us.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And I think we got some comments from last week, didn't we, Pat?
Miss K writes in and says, my name is Melba K. I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers named after relatives. I'm not named after anybody. As number 6 in the birth line, Mama must have ran out of nice relatives.
But she uses her middle name?
That she
K,
apparently
yeah,
does,
she
Melba
does.
K. I did
Wow,
not
see?
know that was her middle
I had
name.
no idea.
Miss K. I'm going to start calling you Miss Melba.
Yeah. Miss Toast.
And Rhonda writes in and says, names, love them. My grandfather, my daddy, my brother, and all I have the same middle name, as do all 3 of my daughters. My brother even gave his daughter the same middle name.
Wow.
Also, around here, Tennessee, we recycle names all through families. This can be terribly confusing.
Yes.
It
Now,
absolutely can.
is Rhonda not going to tell us the middle name?
She didn't.
No, Rhonda.
Come on.
How
Rhonda.
you going to drop a bomb like that to us? Now the suspense, I'm going to be wondering what that middle name is.
My grandfather, me, and my daughter all have the same middle name. And it's Lee.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Hold on. You or her?
No, my grandfather, me, and my daughter.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. I thought you were saying Rhonda. You knew their middle name.
No,
Like,
no,
oh,
no.
nice.
This is just a little Pattism. for
Gotcha.
you.
Well, that's, I think I mentioned, my dad, and my cousin and me all have the same middle name, Curtis, named after my grandfather. So, yeah, we do recycle names.
And then Rhonda says, now, whenever I read anything descending in the Bible, I will have a metallic sound effect playing in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Ezekiel saw the wheel.
Yes.
She said, it's the biblical version of back issue of Boys Life magazine.
I didn't quite get that one, but
And then she says, classic married for too long while joke.
yeah, that was the joke from last week. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is our YouTube
Rhonda,
comments.
you got to write back in and let me know what your middle name is, because that's going to bug me now. I'm going to be
Help me,
wondering.
Rhonda.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us what it is.
You know what? Actually, I think I do know it. I think it's Ann.
Okay.
Because Martha Ann.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would probably be it.
I think it's Ann, actually.
It might be. It might be.
Well, confirm or deny.
But Emily's middle name is Emily Grace.
Oh man.
Yeah, now we're just it's
all
Samsonite.
speculation.
Samsonite.
Swanson.
Slappy. Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, we do appreciate your comments, and we want you to give us some more of them. And you got a joke for us, Peter?
I actually have. I'm full of jokes today.
All right.
I want to read. I don't know if you're a fan of this genre, but this genre is That's When the Fight Started genre.
I like
Okay.
any good joke.
Yeah. So I'll just get you warmed up a little bit here.
Okay.
It says, my wife and I were watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when I turned to her and asked, want to have a little fun tonight? No, she said flatly. Is that your final answer? I asked. She sighed, yes. So I said, well, then I'd like to phone a friend. That's when the fight started.
Okay. All right. I see where we're going here. Okay, bring it on.
Okay. I took my wife out to dinner, and when the waiter asked what I wanted, I said, I'll have the rump steak, rare. The waiter raises an eyebrow. Aren't you worried about the mad cow? I grinned. Nah, she can order for herself. That's when the fight started.
2 for 2.
Yep.
Yeah. At my wife's high school reunion, she kept staring at a man drinking alone. Do you know him? I asked. Yes. He started drinking the day we broke up and he never stopped. I nodded. Wow. Who knew someone could celebrate for that long?
That one got me.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife sat beside me as I switched channels on the TV. What's on the TV? She asked. I said, dust. That's when the fight started.
Yep.
For our anniversary, my wife said she wanted something shiny that could go from 0 to 150 in 3 seconds, so I bought her a bathroom scale.
Oh.
That's when the fight started.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That'd be a dead man.
Yeah. My wife stood in front of the mirror and said, I look old, fat, and tired. Say something nice. I said, your eyesight is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's do one more.
Yeah,
anyway.
keep going. I'm enjoying this.
All right.
Yep.
For Christmas one year, I bought my mother-in-law a cemetery plot. The next year, I didn't get her anything, and she asked why. I said, well, you still haven't used last year's yet.
Yes.
Okay, last one. This is a little bit off color.
All right. That's the best one.
I know. I forgot my wallet at the Social Security office. The clerk said, prove you're over 65. So I opened my shirt and showed her my gray chest hair. That'll do, she said. When I told my wife, she replied, you should have dropped your pants. Maybe they give you disability, too.
I think this has been my favorite round of jokes thus far.
I like those. Yeah, I like those.
That's when the fight started.
Yep.
Yes.
And I got to utilize the drums a lot.
Absolutely.
That is
Yes.
great.
That is.
So,
That is
anyway.
great. Well, we hope you enjoyed those.
Yeah, if you got your own "That's When the Fight Started" joke, yeah, we need to.
Please,
We need to
write
hear it.
in.
We
Yes,
need to hear it.
Absolutely.
And it's nice that we start that way because we're getting into a not particularly very happy topic.
No, this is a pretty dark topic, but I've actually kept this one in my hip pocket for a few months because I actually heard this pretty in depth on a podcast. And it stunned me. I mean, I just did not know this was going on in the world. This is really, really common. Now, just to get us started here, I want to read this story. And actually, I saw this came across just today. This happened like within the last couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're of an older generation like I am, you will remember the Kessler twins. Alice and Ellen Kessler, the German twins who rose to fame in the 1950s as a variety entertainment duo, have died at the age of 89 by joint-assisted suicide.
Wow.
There's an advocacy organization called the German Society for Humane Dying, and they released that on Tuesday.
German Society for Humane Dying.
Yes, exactly. Local police confirmed to CNN on Tuesday there was a deployment yesterday lunchtime in Grunwald, but did not say the reason for that deployment. They contacted this Humane Dying Association, whatever it is, and became members. The decisive factor is likely to have been the desire to die together on a specific date, the spokesperson told the news. Their desire to die was well considered, long-standing, and free from any psychiatric crisis. During an interview with the Italian newspaper, I can't pronounce it, last year, the twins said they wanted to go away together on the same day. The idea that one of us might get it first is very hard to bear, they added. They wish to have their ashes interred in the same urn alongside their mother, Elsa, and their dog, Yellow, they said last year. And they knew that assisted dying under certain circumstances is illegal in Germany after the country's top court ruled in 2020 that an individual has the right to end their life and to seek help from a third party if they aren't subject to external influences. So these the Kessler twins appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, on the cover of Life magazine, moved in circles populated by the biggest stars of that era like Fred Astaire, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, and Rock Hudson.
Go back to the part to where they have their dog in an urn.
Yeah.
That part is where I got a little ticked.
And are you sure their dog's name is not Yeller?
No, it's Yellow. it's Old Yellow.
Old Yellow.
Yeah, exactly.
Did not have rabies.
I mean, the Kessler twins were a big deal.
Yeah.
They were a very big deal.
It sounds like it.
And so that's our subject today is assisted dying.
When you sent this a few hours ago, I was thinking, first thing popped in my mind was Dr. Kevorkian.
Yes, Jack Kevorkian. The Doctor of Death.
Yeah, Dr. Death.
All right, you said that. I'm trying to remember who that is when you texted that.
He was a big proponent of euthanasia and assisted suicide throughout the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And successfully euthanized 4 people, I think it was.
Yeah, he was arrested and he was convicted.
Well, he got a mistrial the first 3
Right.
trials, I think it was,
Right.
and they finally convicted him later, the last one.
Wow.
Yeah. But nothing really ever happened to him.
No, well, he was like 400
Okay,
years
so
old.
he didn't go to prison.
No. Not that I know of. I think he just sort of faded into the woodwork. But
Dr. Kevorkian.
yeah, but
with a K. I spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
it's okay.
He died in 2011, 83. Well done.
Did he die of natural causes or did he have some help?
Let's see here.
See if he had some assistance.
He had kidney problems for years. He was diagnosed with liver cancer, which may have been caused by hepatitis C.
Whoa.
Wow.
Maybe he got too close to some of those dead bodies.
Yeah, he died from thrombosis.
Oh,
Thrombosis.
I thought that was an Italian sub sandwich.
Is that not a musical instrument?
Trombonesis. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, 2011. Well done. I mean,
Yeah. There you
Dr.
go.
Death. Yeah.
Yeah.
82 years. Well done indeed.
Well,
And he
there
did
you
the
go.
killings in the 90s.
Yeah.
I guess it was, wasn't it?
So were they people wanting to die?
Yes, it was assisted
Okay.
suicide.
Yeah. Except for now that I've dug into this thing a little bit more, I've learned that you cannot use the word euthanasia anymore because it kind of sounds too much like young teenagers running around Indonesia or something like that.
Yeah, euthanasia.
Yeah, exactly.
The euthanasia.
His first one was a 54-year-old woman diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 1989, and it took place on 1990.
Okay.
And then from there to his last one, let's see, when was his last one? He did art and music as well.
Wow.
What was that song?
Yeah.
Do you wanna die today?
Yeah.
I don't see when his last one was, but still, he was active in the 90s.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
You know, it's funny. I think we've mentioned this or talked about this once before, maybe off air.
90 to 98.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, it's the thing, one of the things with this, and I know we're about to get into it, and I'll probably have a much deeper understanding of it, but I think about, there was this old dude. He actually used to come in the shop. He had a little tractor and stuff, and my dad and them used to do some work for him. Mm-hmm. And I think he was like 85 or 86 years old. And he found out, I'm pretty sure his wife had already passed away, but he found out that he was eat up with cancer. And man, he shot himself because it was like, I remember, I think I may have gone to school with maybe a relative of his or something. Either way, I got word that so-and-so's grandfather or something had shot themselves. This has been many years ago now. And I'm like, dang, man, that's crazy. I'm like, why, 80 something years old, why would you do that? And they said, man, he found out he was eat up with cancer, and he was like, I ain't going through it.
Wow.
And so he did it. And I just remember, like, on one level, there's a part of me that's like, if you're that old and you've kind of like, man, my wife's passed, I'm at the end of the line, I don't want to deal with it. So I could kind of see where some people could get to the place of this,
Well, this is legal in several places.
We're going to get into that. I've got a little chart going on here. But I wanted to set this up to let you know how honestly how prevalent this is around the world.
Yeah, see, I would not have known that this was much of a thing.
Side note, you remember the band POD?
Oh yeah.
You know their song Youth of a Nation?
Yep.
Stacy thought it was we are euthanasia. That's what she thought it was for the longest time.
Oh man.
Euthanasia is a Greek word that means good dying.
Okay.
So we're good dying, man.
Yeah. So you're not supposed to use that term anymore, though. You're also not supposed to use the word suicide.
Well, what's the new word?
It is medical assistance in dying.
Oh, but now if somebody's still like
mad,
just went out and killed themselves.
But you're not supposed to say commit suicide anymore. Died by suicide.
Well, what's the difference?
Because committing is like you're committing a crime.
Isn't suicide a crime?
Apparently, these people don't think that it is at all.
I can't keep up with what's incorrect anymore.
So they think suicide's not a good term, but medical assisted death.
Medical assistance in dying.
But that can be mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
That's MAID. MAID. MAID.
Yeah, MAID. You can't leave that I out, Pat.
That's exactly right.
You don't make those part of the acronym.
You could just say medically assisted dying, and then it would
you'd be mad. Yeah, I know, but they don't want to do that. Medical assistance in dying. So this is the official term that's used worldwide.
Okay, that's
when we talk about this stuff.
That's a lot longer than just saying suicide.
Now this is these two articles that I'm drawing from here come from a Canadian organization.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Which is where it's legal.
where it's legal in many places. Yeah. It is legal, but it's the most aggressive in Canada.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I thought the Canadians were always happy.
So darn cold up there, man.
There are a few that are not.
Huh.
So,
well, only like 40% of the country is even
populated.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they all crowd down at the border. Yeah, exactly. But okay, so this piece is called "Language Matters: Why We Use the Term Medical Assistance in Dying." This is a Canadian kind of context here. So it says this term refers to Canada's assisted dying law. This legal, federally regulated end-of-life choice consists of two options: the administering by a physician, now get this, or nurse practitioner.
So even a nurse practitioner can do it.
What
about a soldier?
I don't know about that.
How do you charge someone for that? What's left in your bank?
Yeah. Pay in advance, please. Yeah.
I was going to say, especially what if they're like, I'll write you a check. And then,
exactly.
Can I put it on my credit card?
Yeah, exactly. Of a substance to a person at their request that causes their death, or the prescribing or providing by a physician or nurse practitioner of a substance to a person at their request so they may self-administer and in doing so cause their own deaths.
I bet that ain't the fun drugs, though.
Can they do that at home?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
So they can get the shot and go home?
They can get the pill and go home.
Well, wouldn't you do it somewhere fun like Walmart?
I don't know though, because I would almost, if I were going to do it. Hey, and I'm gonna preface this.
Like Six Flags.
I have a terribly dark sense of humor, so this is like the perfect one to showcase that. So I'm gonna try to refrain as best as I can, but I do have a very bad sense of humor. But I'm just thinking about this and like, well, if I was gonna do it at home, I feel like I would want to be on the toilet because, after you die, it's gonna,
that's right.
you're going to clear out.
Yeah,
I don't want to go with,
yeah.
I don't want somebody to come get me with poop in my pants.
Well, that's where you gotta skydive naked.
I'm kind of like Pat though. I just get on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, like let's go to Six Flags, right?
Be a dead guy on the
Well, he died doing what he loved.
Yes, exactly. So you could just take that as you will and run with it.
Yeah.
No charge for those little scenarios.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So it says both options have various safeguards and clinician reporting requirements in place. That we use the term MAID because in Canada, nurse practitioners can assess for and provide as well as physicians. So a nurse practitioner can decide whether you
live or die.
See, again, safeguards in assisted suicide or MAID. It's like wearing a helmet when you skydive. If that chute doesn't open, that helmet's not going to help you.
That is true. That is really true. So by using terms like physician-assisted death, we are not being inclusive of the role that nurse practitioners play in this area of end-of-life care.
Oh, good grief. We even woke up suicide.
Yep. We can't let those nurse practitioners feel inferior.
What nurse practitioner was the one that was like, this hurts my feelings?
I'm really upset by this.
I have helped some people off themselves, and now I'm not even getting any recognition.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Bizarre.
Okay, so this is why we don't use the term assisted suicide.
All right.
Suicide and medical assistance in dying are two very different experiences. Psychiatrist Dr. Derek Smith explains death by suicide is usually the result of untreated mental illness.
Okay.
Medical assistance in dying, on the other hand, is a considered choice regulated by legislation and provided by medical professionals.
All right, that's kind of what I was thinking. And like, because suicide, I would say most people would probably agree you're not in your right state of mind. So, medically assisted death or whatever.
Medical assistance in death,
they would say they are in their right state of mind.
This is a choice they're making.
So technically we can say inmates that receive lethal injection.
They're getting medically assisted.
Because it's the same principle, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it's
legislated.
But I think it's against their will.
I was going to say, but maybe not by choice.
So can we, well, then we should be able to change that to medically assisted murder.
Well, it kind of is. We're going to get into some of that stuff too in a minute. But he says MAID is an option for Canadians or anybody really who are experiencing interminable suffering without hope of improvement. Suicide is often motivated by feelings of hopelessness, while medical assistance in dying is driven by hope and autonomy. Keep those two words the forefront of your mind.
Hope?
I was going to say, what hope do you have in
hope in
that?
Ending suffering?
All right. Now, my gripe with this, and I would say, and this may be a point you would make later, is, all right, let's say I'm 50 years old, and I receive a bad prognosis of, hey man, you got stage 4 cancer, whatever. It's terminal. There's nothing we can do about it. So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to go over here and do that.
Yep.
Well, I also have heard plenty of stories of people that go and get these terrible cancer prognoses and then they miraculously survive.
Yep.
So to me, it's kind of like, well, there's an element to this where you're kind of playing God because you're like, well, God, he's just not in the miracle game no more.
Nope, that's right. Well, I guess if you believe that God doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, then you think, well, I'm done. Yeah.
Well.
How do we have medically assisted death and an opioid crisis in the same conversation?
See,
did you know Tennessee is the most opioid users in the country?
Yeah, no, it's medical assisted
I just saw that like a few hours ago.
Man, oh man.
So yeah. But yeah,
it's
and wonder what they give them. like cyanide or something?
That I don't know, and none of these articles actually reveal.
It
Yeah.
better be
What it
something
is.
fun.
Yeah, I
I'm
want to at
not
least
sure.
foam at the mouth or something.
Well, okay, so here we go. It says MAID occurs when a patient chooses to end suffering that they experience as intolerable, and they have met the criteria as set out in the law. A MAID provision happens with the involvement of a clinician either through the prescribing or the direct administration of IV medications that will result in death.
So this is the criteria here.
Yeah, even in situations involving self-administered MAID, the prescribing clinician is often, but not always, present. A MAID provision is peaceful and planned. In many cases, family and friends are included in the planning and are given a chance to say goodbye. Can you imagine that? Come to my death party tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you want to eat? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Logan,
Wow.
you want to hit the plunger,
yeah,
man?
and here's the here's why we don't say committed suicide anymore, because it refers to a time when suicide was a crime. The preferred term is now died or death by suicide.
But now, like in the United States, isn't suicide a crime? Is it not still considered a crime?
Apparently not. Well, it's not in Canada anyway.
See,
I don't know.
You know, there's guys.
Has there been anyone charged with it?
Yeah, or convicted
don't-
of it.
See, and that's the thing. But I know, like, I've heard of the suicide by cop. I know some guys. I even know a guy that attempted suicide by cop. You know, they try to. You know, they don't intend to honestly hurt any cops, but they pull the gun and try to get the cops so that they
Right.
make the
Oh,
cops
sure.
kill
Yeah.
them.
That's not
for sure.
That's not suicide by cop. That's police assisted death.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly
We
Yeah.
got
right.
to use these terms
Let's
right.
get our
Yes,
okay?
language
police
right, yeah.
assisted
If-
police assistance in dying.
Yeah,
It's paid. Paid.
That's what the family gets afterwards.
Yes.
Okay, so here is why we don't use the term euthanasia, and this is a little confusing to me.
All right.
Says the root of the term euthanasia comes from the Greek, eu meaning good and thanatos meaning death. Simple definition of euthanasia is the practice of intentionally ending life to relieve pain and suffering. So while this is technically
And begiggity.
technically correct, we avoid this term because of some of its historical associations and because it has been commandeered by the anti-choice movement in Canada. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's also a term used to refer to ending an animal's life. With the
So
use of
they're really
medication.
just mad at pro-lifers.
Yeah, and they don't want people to be lumped in with animals. Because that's how we put animals down.
Yeah.
See, now that's how they can be pro-choice, is because we don't care what age you are, we'll kill you.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to be youthful for this.
It says in countries with assisted and aid in dying laws, terms vary. Terminology can include assisted suicide, euthanasia, physician assistant suicide, aid in dying. So the key difference between assisted suicide and euthanasia then is who administers the medication,
Okay.
the patient or the healthcare professional, so on and so forth.
But then
This is asinine.
but if
I
they
agree.
get prescribed this stuff from a nurse practitioner and go home and do
Yeah.
it themselves, then it's technically still suicide, right?
It technically is. I don't know how you.
But see, like here's the thing, like Peter, do you take a blood pressure medicine? Any of you?
Yeah.
All right. So
No,
now,
I
if you go
probably
home,
should.
if you go home and take all of them, technically that's medically assisted death,
Yeah.
Because it was prescribed by a professional.
right? Like this is how asinine this is.
That's right. So one of their this organization is called Dying with Dignity Canada.
Dying with Dignity.
Yeah, and so we often hear people refer to a MAID provision as Dying with Dignity, or the organization they contacted to arrange it was Dying with Dignity, and so
Could you imagine working there?
Could you imagine being
No.
a person applying for that website?
Dude, that like what a horribly morbid job. You know, everybody that comes in, you just and they're like, if you have a legit customer, well, they're gonna be dead.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know.
Someone goes to buy into your business. What's your repeat bill? No, never mind.
Yeah, well, I'd be like, hey, when you give them like the medication to go home, be like, could you fill out a quick survey real quick before you go home, and then like
Yeah,
let us know.
exactly.
Responsible for 13 generations.
Yes.
Just so you know that we're not, just blowing smoke about this thing. This is another article here called "Medical Assistance in Dying Around the World."
I hope Peter's FBI agent that tracks his searches knows he's not planning to take his life medically assisted.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I am not making this stuff up.
All right, let's
Okay.
hear this.
Dying with Dignity Canada was pleased to host the 2022 World Federation of Right to Die Societies
What in the world?
International Conference in Toronto in 2022.
I bet you don't end that conference with "We'll see you next year."
Yeah.
God,
What in the world? Why and why?
So, because honestly, to them, this is not a depressing job. This is like
Mercy.
They think it's hopeful, I guess.
Yeah, compassion and dignity. And,
it's a humane
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
This movement with assisted dying started in Switzerland in 1942.
Wow.
Yes,
I
and
didn't realize he was that old.
so the eligibility criteria, safeguards, methods, scope vary from one jurisdiction to another. Everybody that allows this kind of does it in their own way.
Yeah, yeah.
In 1942, it was a 1911.
Right.
Or the rope.
The robe.
Yeah. So it says in the past 3 years alone, courts in Germany, Italy, and Austria have released rulings removing bans on assisted dying. The world has also seen a growing number of jurisdictions introducing legislation to increase access and remove barriers to MAID. Since 2019, 6 Australian states have passed legislation to legalize MAID. And in the United States, there are now 10 states with legislation in place allowing assisted dying. Just this year, there have been proposed legislation in Utah, Delaware, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New York.
Utah really shocks me.
It does me too. They don't have enough people to populate their state in the first place.
No,
You know what really baffles me?
What?
Is that someone who wants to die is concerned about doing it legally.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would be curious to know, especially in some of these other countries, where medically assisted whatever is taken off more. I'd also like to know how their religious statistics are. Like if there's I feel like there's got to be a decline in Christianity.
I feel like
with
the brother
rise of
Peter will loop that in.
We've got a little. Yes, we will.
All right.
Yeah. You can kind of draw your own conclusions when we get through the list of some of the most permissive countries.
Okay.
You'll be able to kind of catch a common thread.
Well, that's
here.
why I said Utah kind of surprises me.
I know it does me too. Okay, so Canada. In Canada, the eligibility criterion is one of the most permissive in the world. I will argue that it is the most permissive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost anybody can schedule to die in Canada. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're Canadian. There ain't much left.
Okay, and this is where it takes a hard left turn from a lot of the other countries.
Okay.
In March of 2027, so coming up, those with a mental disorder as the sole underlying condition will no longer be excluded from accessing MAID.
So anyone.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you have a mental disorder and that's the sole underlying condition, you can request to die.
You can couldn't probably just about everybody be diagnosed. What about anxiety? Could you be like, I've
Mental
got
health
anxiety?
is at the world's worst documented place right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing Canada. I love you.
But you could be like, man, I just have terrible anxiety.
Yeah, I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you could apply.
Wow.
Now, you'll have to go through an evaluation process. So I don't know, if somebody says you're not bad enough.
I feel like if it's on the legislature, there's probably bukus of paperwork and
I imagine so, but
and, all these things you got to go through.
You're filling out the paper and you're like, my God, this makes me want to kill myself.
Well, I mean, I'm sure like there's evaluations and everything you got to go through.
oh, for sure. But also, this I sort of kind of lump this into a lot of the sort of new medical phenomenon they've come up with in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so now we get to have grant money to set up a center for, medically assisted dying.
Yes.
And now we get to, so that, are they really going to turn down that many?
No. Hey, this is actually, I have to play a segment because this dude did you hear his suicide segment?
No.
All right. So I'm
Be
jumping
careful,
in.
we might get Might get blocked on YouTube.
No. This is I'm gonna play this clip for you guys that don't know him. This is Dusty Slay. He's a really funny comedian, and it's actually perfect. Here it is. This was like just a few days ago. All right, check this out.
But I was in a Walgreens the other day, and I was waiting in line, and there was this lady talking to the cashier, and the cashier was like, she had just had to ask like a regular old Walgreens question, you know? She was like, oh, are you a Walgreens Rewards member? That lady goes, if I had to ask that question every day, I'd kill myself. I got up to the register, I was like, geez, that lady had a low threshold for suicide, huh? Somebody better keep an eye on that lady. Like the day gets harder, you know? If you got suicide in your small talk, you got to work on it, you know? I mean, that's big talk, you know? Small talk is the weather, you know? You're like, oh, it's a beautiful day today, huh? You're like, yeah, I'd like to kill myself. Okay, well, I hope it rains, I guess.
All right.
That just
There you
seemed
go.
really fitting.
There you go.
So, see, what would stop that person from
That's what I'm talking about.
going?
But here's the other deal. Is that I'm trying to find the exact place where it says this, and if I don't find it, I'm still going to say it anyway
All right.
because
We'll believe you.
well, it's absolutely true that now they are going to what they call responsible minors can request this.
Oh gosh, so now like you could be what, 15 years old?
Yeah,
Isn't
Do
that
you
an
have to have parental consent?
I don't think so.
Isn't that an oxymoron? Responsible minor.
Yeah, it is so true.
Unless we're talking about the people in the coal mines.
But also, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and Switzerland already allow MAID for those with mental disorder as a sole underlying condition. So Canada's going to pass this in 2 years. So they already have passed it. It's going to be okay.
So what will they do with all that empty land?
Well, I don't know.
Fertilize it.
I mean, think about it. Like, how many
Yeah.
people have diagnosed medical conditions?
Yeah.
Canada. Now, this article was written 3 years ago.
Do you think this could be a weird? Now I'm putting my tinfoil hat on here.
Okay.
Do you think this could be a weird move for like almost a genocidal approach? Because
I'm telling you.
this, what's to say? All right, they do this. It's like any mental disorder you can choose. Well, then I almost could see this as it continues down the pipeline being like, we just got too many mouths to feed. You know, we're overpopulated.
Yeah.
Like you look at some of these countries and it's like, man, we're just overpopulated. We're not able to feed. Like, you know, you've got a mental disorder. So I don't know. I almost feel like this could be some bizarre twist that could even take.
Remember the Monty Python movie? Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dad.
I'm not dead yet. Yes, you are.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, yeah, we got 9 kids. This one seems to have a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
See, a gentle, peaceful way. Why don't they just make a theme park? Just tell us how you want to die. We'll make it happen.
Well, I just
Yes.
also believe.
Six Flags Over Death.
Yeah, next rocket goes up in 35 minutes.
Yeah. But we always see a continuous erosion.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it never
absolutely.
stops. So I'm just kind of thinking like, well, if this is, because right now this is bizarre to us. In 5 years from now, what
Might
will
not
this
be.
be?
What
I know.
concerns me is the change in the language. It's if we change enough words,
It don't sound so
it's
bad.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
It's
actually,
okay.
Sounds kind of peaceful.
You know what I
Sounds
mean?
good.
Well, yeah. If we rewrite words, then we can make
I know.
anything
I know.
sound what we want it to.
So here's the sentence I was looking for, and this was written 5 years ago or 3 years ago, and I know that they have passed this now. It says they're currently studying this possibility of expanding access to mature minors. Something countries such as Netherlands, Belgium, and Colombia already allow.
like South America,
What's
Colombia.
a mature minor?
That's what I don't know. I mean,
See, again, there's just the language.
I know.
They're still a minor.
Yeah.
We're just saying they're mature.
Yeah, they are those unusual minors who are intelligent and grown up enough to make solid decisions.
Yes.
Wise decisions.
If your
I
IQ
wanna
is
die.
high enough, we'll let you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, mature minors.
Wow.
Interesting.
So many countries, including Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Spain, and Colombia, allow advanced requests for MAID to be made. Canada currently does not.
Advance request.
So, hey, in 3 years, I want out, man.
Yeah. I want to schedule this.
So what if in that time span you come to your senses?
They just come and get you.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, pal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you
this
signed it,
sounds
man.
like those things in high school. Hey, man, if we're not in the NFL in 3 years,
Yeah, I know.
we're going to Canada.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Wow.
you know, maybe you don't have the money to put yourself on layaway.
Do a layaway, yes.
It's like, okay, your layaway's up. You can come and get it.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That is
Okay, so I got this little chart here.
Okay.
I'm not going to go through all the details, but I want to give you an example of how this chart is laid out.
okay.
Netherlands, it says terminal illness requirement, no. Minors, yes. Mental disorder, yes. Advanced requests, yes. 12 plus. I'm assuming that means 12
12
months.
years old?
12, no,
Yeah, I think it means 12 months.
Okay.
yeah. Methods of provision, both.
Okay.
So
So the Netherlands are just wide open.
wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, just anybody can come in and request to die.
Yeah.
Belgium is no yes for minors on terminal illness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. No, but yes for minors.
No terminal illness requirement, but yes for minors.
I got you. Okay.
And then yes for everything else. Luxembourg is no, yes, both. Switzerland.
So we got the Make-A-Wish Foundation for terminal kids here, and then they
Yeah.
just went the other way, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly. Make a dark wish.
Yeah.
Switzerland is yes on is no terminal illness requirement, no minors, yes mental disorder. And then we go to Spain, we go to Canada, which is no to everything, yes
Canada's
to
got
everything.
an express lane.
Yeah, Colombia is surprisingly wide open on this stuff too. The United States, yes, there is a terminal illness requirement in the 10 states that have it.
Okay.
No minors, no mental disorders, no advanced requests, and they offer only medical assisted. They call it suicide, but so there you go. And then New Zealand's pretty wide open. Australia is pretty wide open, although they both require terminal illness. So those are the ones that are fully participating.
That's wild.
In Portugal, the president has twice refused to sign a bill allowing MAID, but it looks like that they're in the process. Their parliament is in the process of overturning it.
Wow.
Yeah. So the president's trying to hold ground. And,
All right. Does that say for sure Utah?
It did. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is-
the little map I looked at had Utah on there.
Okay. I wonder, because this said 3 bills have repeatedly failed to advance in the Utah legislature.
Okay. Maybe it just said they were considering it.
Yeah, it says multiple
that's right.
bills.
Yeah, it said legislation was introduced in those states.
Yeah, apparently they really keep wanting to. It says multiple bills have been introduced in Utah to allow terminally ill, mentally competent adults to request a prescription for life-ending medication.
Right.
Sounds like Washington has it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't
That's a big
surprise me.
shocker, isn't it? They're like, it won't stop raining.
Yeah. No, they won't stop raising taxes is what's happening there. Everybody likes the rain.
Yeah. This says these bills have repeatedly failed to advance in the Utah legislature. For example, a 2022 bill received a hearing but was defeated by a committee vote. So it says some sources may misinterpret provisions near end-of-life care.
you go.
You can do withdrawal of treatment or
Yeah.
advanced directives.
As of 2025, it's legal in the following states and districts: Oregon, Washington State, Montana, Vermont, California, Colorado, Washington, D.C., Hawaii, New Jersey, Maine, New Mexico, and Delaware.
Montana? Mm-hmm. That one shocks me.
Montana has a huge suicide
I said
issue.
Montana.
It's just wild that I'll be honest, I wouldn't have expected a red
Montana
state.
since
I wouldn't
2009, and the longest reigning champion is Oregon. In 1997, it was legalized.
Yeah. Yeah, this says Montana in the case of Baxter versus v. Montana. The Supreme Court ruled state law does not prohibit a physician from providing a terminally ill, mentally competent patient with medication to hasten death.
Wow.
There you go.
Dang.
So We're going to get to kind of a more biblical framework for all this stuff in just a second, but just to let you know what an issue this is becoming. This is an article that it's a scientific peer-reviewed journal article. It was written in 2023, and it talks about medical aid in dying. It used the proper terms here. The critical point about assisted suicide is that those wishing to die must themselves carry out the last decisive life-ending act of the procedure. And then they talk about the voluntary act of euthanasia, all that stuff. But they say that this is a comparatively new societal and medical phenomenon. Views and exchanges about this are intensely controversial. And so proponents view its legalization as an achievement of present-day society to emphasize an individual's autonomy, also making a conscious decision to end their life on their own terms. Now, this is going to be where we get into not just an ethical issue, but a spiritual issue.
Yeah.
Because autonomy is what got us in trouble in the Garden of Eden, right?
Fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want this on my own terms.
Eve had that medically assisted apple.
That's exactly right. Yes. In contrast, opponents argue that MAID violates mainstays of medicine in which healing, managing pain, and alleviating suffering, but never knowingly or intentionally causing harm or death, are non-negotiable cornerstones of a medical practice. Okay. I would tend to agree with that.
Yes.
But most Western countries over the last 2 decades have experienced a steady increase in the acceptance of MAID for patients who suffer from a terminal disease and or from irreversible, intolerable symptoms and functional limitations. And it lists a bunch of these countries that have made these kinds of decisions. So it has evolved from a rare marginal phenomenon to a societal mainstream. In fact, one of the statistics in one of these other articles says that 75% of people think that it's a good thing.
Okay.
Jeez, who were they asking?
That's what I want to know. They didn't ask me.
I was going to say, I hadn't been asked.
No.
The people on that 12-month plus list.
Yeah.
So get this. The number of persons who not only allow themselves to think about this formerly taboo option, but actually choose it is growing rapidly and steadily. Recent data from the Netherlands shows that MAID accounts for nearly 5% of all its deaths. In Switzerland, it's 2%.
Dang. The fact that it's even like registering a percentage. Is wild.
Mm-hmm. I know. It says increasing longevity. And this is talking from a Western Europe kind of standpoint. The UK, Switzerland, all those kinds of things. Increasing longevity associated with increased age-related multimorbidity. Living outside a supportive family environment or without a partner could result in MAID accounting for at least 5% of all deaths in the next 10 to 15 years in countries with legal access to MAID.
How do they market this?
I guess it's just despair,
Yeah.
And here's the deal. I'm just going to say this one time. I'm just going to lay that out there. If you're suffering from any of those conditions, go to church.
Yes.
Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pastors, I'll come visit you.
Yeah.
I'll pray with you. I mean, seriously, it could be honestly with some of these conditions as simple as that. Connecting with a community of faith.
I was going to say community, man.
And now I'm really curious to remember how we were talking how there's a friendship crisis in the world today.
Yeah.
I really want to see these numbers compared to the people who want to kill themselves numbers. And I feel like that's got to be a pretty close number. They got to match pretty closely.
I think in the age of technology, and we've seen people don't interact with people anymore.
Right.
And so I think it's not surprising to me that as the community aspect has decreased, the loneliness, suicide, depression, that increases. I mean, I feel like that's just crime.
I completely agree. But the way this article is framing this is that this loneliness, this despair, this loss of mobility, all these kinds of things, lack of family support, all these are important sort of factors, but the overarching factor is this autonomy thing. Listen to what it says. The much more important influencing factor regarding attitudes toward MAID in the future is a shift in social values in which religious convictions play a decreasing role, where personal freedom and autonomy to live one's life become decisive life principles. The generation who is now entering their final stages of life has grown up in an environment where they were able to define their lives much more freely than their parents and grandparents. Their parents and grandparents were more constrained in shaping their life and lifestyle through social class, with minimal opportunities for higher education, stringent gender roles, there we go, economic hardships, strong religious convictions, and community pressures, among others. So now we are free from that. Isn't that wonderful? We're free from,
morality.
Yes. Or community, or, we don't have to filter our lives through any kind of system.
That is wild.
Until recently, the possibility to chart the course of one's life was reserved for a select few in the upper social class. This privilege has now become generally available. We have discounts on autonomy.
So only rich people could afford it back then?
Well, they're saying this autonomy factor.
Okay, gotcha.
To chart your own course. I have the money and the power to decide what I want to look like, who I want to be, what my identity is.
And now to kill myself.
And exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, and they basically end the article very ambiguously by saying, where are we today in this whole thing? They're obviously saying it's a problem. It says it will be the most urgent medical ethical challenge for the West in the coming years ahead.
I wonder if someone goes into a mental health clinic in Canada and is like, hey, I really need some help. Have you seen our MAID program?
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
That's what I was wondering. When I say they market it, do they run ads on TV?
Yeah,
are you watching TV and it's
is it like one of the little pamphlets in the clinic?
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other deal too, because it's gonna become an issue like human sexuality and identity.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're going to be a physician in one of these countries and you refuse to do this, are you going to then be censured? Or
now, how can people legally do this, but they still can't let people have steroids? I want a steroid football league.
Yes.
Or steroid UFC.
They would kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is what does it. I guarantee you, there's lawsuits on the way. Because what if you eventually, where I could see is this spills over into, let's say in the United States, this gains more steam. It spills over into a normal. All right, suddenly even your family nurse practitioner in town is like, oh, this is an element of the practice, and someone comes in and they're like, well, we're not going to assist you in this. Well, then what if they just say, yes, you are, and they sue you?
And we're already seeing it in these other countries where they're allowing responsible minors. It's what we see in sexuality in America today.
I know.
Yep.
The parent has to allow the child to make these decisions nowadays.
Yep.
And if they don't, everybody's going to get sued.
And we're going to see this. This is the next thing.
This is what I'm talking about. Because it says, with this guidance, healthcare providers, physicians, nurses, geriatric and palliative care providers, and other healthcare workers will have to position themselves in terms of their own ethical framework and principles, and I would say religious convictions as well.
Yeah.
And they will have to seek answers about how they deal with those who approach them with their wish to die.
Wow.
I'd be like, well.
I wonder if employees become customers.
Oh, man.
Because that seems like a depressing
That's
job.
what I'm saying. That job would have to be horrible.
Yes. Would you like to be in our rewards program?
You work for us for 20 years, your retirement gift, you know what that is.
I think you might have had the right idea, Pat. I think if I worked there, or if I was a nurse practitioner and someone came to me and said that, I'd be like, well, have you ever considered skydiving?
Right, yeah.
And then
exactly.
just, hey, man, just don't pull the thing. And it's not even a crime because you just, when you die, they could be like, man, dang it, his parachute, he forgot to pull the cord.
And I can even run discounts. You can't afford a burial? We'll skydive over the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't got to worry about it.
So I picked up this other article. It's actually by a website that I love called Bible Study Tools. Okay. Excellent. And they have articles from time to time. And they this contributing writer wrote this, how does the Bible treat, assistance in dying, medical assistance in dying.
Sure.
And it shows this article because it's 2024 and she's actually using all the right terms. And so we know that she's kind of tapped into
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
And so she says, this is Candace Lucy.
Okay.
She says, the Bible is clear about who is sovereign over life and death. God alone has the final say. Although some churches have advocated for this, calling it the compassionate option, the Christian church must obey God.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that. So we're going to get into a little bit of this biblical framework, but there's a couple of quotes in here that I thought were really, really good.
Okay.
She mentions Exodus 20:13, you shall not murder. Okay,
Yep.
there's one.
Yep.
And so you might say, oh, well, they're asking to die, so it's not really murder. So here's another one, Leviticus 24:17. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. I mean, that's an Old Testament Levitical law. Maybe we don't follow that anymore. I don't know, but maybe God actually, kind of feels that way about it.
Yeah.
Also, 1 Samuel 2, the Lord kills and brings to life. He brings down to Sheol and raises up. And that can get into the whole issue about, hey, is committing suicide to send you straight to hell? And I would say no, it does not.
See, and then that's that has been a change for me. I think I've shared that before on here.
Yeah.
Growing
it was
up,
for me too.
suicide was a straight ticket to hell.
Yeah.
And don't be swearing if you get in a car accident.
Yep, because you didn't get a chance to repent.
No repentance. That's right. But anyway, she quotes this guy, Len Lance, a psychiatrist and a Christian, has a really good quote. He says, no one understands the yearning for heaven more than the severely depressed or ill Christian. But God calls us to perseverance, not suicide.
Yeah.
Killing yourself is an act of trying to force your will on God.
Hey, and I do want to add, if we get some new listeners here, we are not saying that suicide is a straight ticket to hell.
No, that is our
correct.
position.
Yeah,
on that.
we do not believe that is
No.
a straight ticket to hell.
Please don't, and please don't consider it either.
Yes.
Because anyway, so
I do think when you get there, God's probably like, why did you do that? Come on, man.
yeah, I needed you to hang in there just for a little while longer.
Yep.
But anyway, this is an interesting verse. Paul famously wrote that God's grace was enough for him. He many times wanted to end some terrible suffering he endured.
Yeah.
But then he writes this in Philippians 1. He says, my desire is to depart and be with Christ, for that is far better. But to remain in the flesh is more necessary on your account. Convinced of this, I know that I will remain and continue with you all for your progress and joy in the faith. So
Persevere.
there you go. Yeah. And it makes a good point here. When a person asks for help so they can die on their own terms, this is simply assisted suicide. That's what she says. Lots of people use lots of other terms. It does not change the reality that an individual expects others to help him or her to do what he or she cannot achieve alone, which is to commit self-murder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dying on my own terms, right? Yeah. And then it says one of the worst elements is that it implicates others in the process. Passes on the responsibility to somebody else.
So let's say whose blood is on whose hand in that point.
That's that's exactly right. And it says maybe the church might be regarded as detached from reality and lacking compassion. How could a church body say they love their neighbor and permit their neighbor to suffer needlessly? How can a son or daughter fail to put his parent suffering from dementia out of their misery when the parent is wearing diapers and wakes up in terror every day, confused and disoriented? Besides, the world is overcrowded, on and on and on.
You can say the same thing about babies.
This is going to be my next point.
Okay,
because do you see the parallel?
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
yeah.
Unwanted, unneeded,
It's
a
like because
burden.
babies wake up in terror and crap diapers and all kinds of stuff all the
That's
time.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
I like
But-
a loaf of bread.
But again, that's a perfect comparison because we don't even value babies anymore.
That's right.
No, we do not. Do you know a woman named Johnny, or actually Erickson Tada?
I don't think so.
Okay, she was really, really big and influential when I was in my teenage years. She had a movie that she made that she put herself in and everything. She was a world champion skier, and she got in a terrible accident and became a quadriplegic.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Yeah. And she ended up getting married, and she ended up, painting with her mouth,
Yeah.
Right on.
paintbrush in her teeth.
Yeah.
Amazing
I can't even
story.
paint with my
I
hands.
cannot either. I can't even finger paint.
Yes.
So she speaks on this subject to this day. I think she's still alive. She's very old if she is. But she said she would be one who would have chosen this kind of
yeah.
program when she was first hooked up to the machines.
Yeah.
But she writes that society is not a bunch of people way out there who sit around big tables and think up political trends or cultural issues. It said, when someone's parent or child is confined to a hospital bed or wheelchair, it takes a lot of work to look after that individual. And she goes on, loss of dignity, privacy, hope. And she says she's talking about the community idea and the church idea. A lot of people say that someone that takes care of them should be the government, should be an institution, should be this and that. But she says no. It's that someone includes every person involved closely in the life of the suffering individual. That means mom and dad take turns looking after the wheelchair-bound child, sibling support by doing extra things. Extended family gets involved, neighbors, friends, church, members of the church see the need, respond to it with prayer and practical help. And the help should go on as long as the family needs it, not as a limited time offer.
Yep.
This is a lot of her message over the last 20 years probably. Everyone, it's a ripple effect. Everyone is affected by the experience. Everyone involved gains meaning from this person's life, a life that brings people together for God's glory.
And I would even say that, the church and in some very tiny part is responsible as well. We do a good job of saying,
I know.
we'll be there.
I know.
We'll help.
We'll pray for you, brother.
We'll pray for you.
I know.
And then 3 weeks later, I'm going to pray again.
Yeah, I'm still praying. So
We don't want to roll up our sleeves and do the work.
this is I'm going to end this article with this. Another quote from Len Lance. He says, while there is a lot of suffering in the Bible, God promised to be with us through it all. God calls us to continue and persevere through the hardships of life. The world's concept of love is to let people do whatever makes them happy, even if that means helping them die.
Yeah.
Jesus' concept of love is to walk with sufferers rather than simply plucking them off the earth and into heaven. During his ministry, Jesus healed, he accompanied, and he also sat with the sufferer. This is a really good point. This is worth the cost of the article right here. Imagine the man in the graveyard once his demons had been evicted by Christ. He had to rebuild his life physically, emotionally, and socially. This long road upwards might have appeared insurmountable at times, but Jesus knew the man's value and the full story of his life. He also knew what it would mean to the kingdom for onlookers to witness the man's courageous battle and to see how it is done. Taking time to love this man, to see him, to value him, even though he appeared beyond healing.
Yeah.
Beyond healing. So he's making the point of this guy was a wreck. You talk about, mental disorder.
Yep.
He was possessed by a legion of demons.
That's right.
He was cutting himself. He was breaking chains. They put him out in the graveyard among the caves. If anybody had a reason to say, please, just help me to
yell
die.
at me.
Yeah. It would have been him. But I think one of his best points here is we take the miracle working possibility away from the kingdom of God.
And that's exactly what I feel like, because again, I almost everybody probably, if they think hard enough, people that they know, you probably know somebody that has overcome a pretty terrible prognosis. Like they have, I know people that have had stage 4 cancer, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And they were given 6 months, and that's been 10 years ago. So that's the thing. Like people that are an atheist, I could see where an atheist would be like,
I'm just going to go down to the dirt anyway.
See,
Yep.
Might as well just do it early.
And for me, this just seems like one of the tools of the devil, because all these people have obviously lost hope.
yes.
And they're going to say, well, this is your hope.
Yeah.
This is your hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll give you hope.
Come on over to the dark side.
Yeah, like
It's much
this
better over
seems
there.
like it's a tool of the devil for me, because like it's, if you get to that point, you have lost hope.
Yeah.
If you want to die, that means there's no hope.
You feel that the world would be better off without you in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like that is a tool of the devil.
I think it is too.
absolutely agree.
So let's look at a couple of biblical sort of examples, shall we?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so do you remember the story of Elijah? When he brings down the fire from heaven, then he brings the rain and all this stuff, and then Jezebel issues a warrant for his arrest, and he flees.
Yeah.
Right. He gets to 1 Kings 19:4. It says Elijah went a day's journey into the wilderness, came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die. And he said, "It is enough now, O Lord, take my life, for I am not better than my fathers. That is spiritually assisted.
Said.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not going to take his own life.
Yeah.
He kind of wants to.
Yeah.
But he's going to ask the Lord to do it. Ask
It's,
somebody else to do it.
suicide by God.
There you go.
Sad.
So how did God respond to his request?
Well, Elijah didn't die. He never died, did he?
No, he never died.
Yeah.
It says that he sent an angel, and the angel brought him food
Yeah, it said eat and sleep, son.
and
A
some
Snickers
water. Yeah.
It's like, come on, you're being a diva.
Yeah, we know how you get when you're hangry. Yeah,
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
there's a phrase in the mental health community. It's called HALT.
Yes.
And it's hunger, anger, loneliness, and tiredness.
Don't make any decisions.
Yeah, all 4 of those are your 4 basic human needs.
Yeah.
And that's what he says. He's like, I'm with you. Eat, take a nap, and calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stop. Just stop for a second. And this is the thing that I love about it too, because at his head was a bread cake baked on hot stones and a jar of water. Ate, drank, lay down again. The angel of the Lord came a second time, touched him again, says, "Arise, eat again."
Mm-hmm.
he told him to eat twice,
Yeah.
and with a nap in between.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
So he's
Thanksgiving.
conquering the tired. He's conquering the hungry.
yes.
And the angel's
Yeah.
there. He's not lonely.
He's
Yeah.
not lonely. That's exactly right.
But he's just angry right now.
Okay, so let's see how this one works out. This is King Saul.
Well, so how does that resolve?
Well-
What's the angel end up doing?
It says, "Arise, eat, because the journey is too great for you." And so he arose, ate, and drank, and went in the strength of that food 40 days and 40 nights to Horeb, the mountain of God.
Well,
There you
what's
go.
funny is a guy that's requesting to die never died.
That's what I'm laughing at. It's almost kind of like God's
That's
like, well, I'll
the
show
hilarious thing.
you.
Yeah.
That's the hilarious thing about it. Yes, exactly. And so then we look at
So we should make people immortal that want to have assistance in suicide.
if they don't go through with it.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
be like, yeah, sure, we'll hook you up. We're gonna give you like an IV of like adrenaline. We're gonna make these people super alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Granny's doing laps around church.
But they need 2 Happy Meals and a nap.
Right.
first.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so this is 1 Samuel 31, 4 and 5. Saul is out in the battle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This battle he really shouldn't have been in the first place. And this is after he consults the witch, and he doesn't get any good. So anyway, it says the Philistines overtook Saul and his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. And the battle went heavily against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was badly wounded by the archers. Then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and pierce me through with it, lest these uncircumcised come and pierce me through and make sport of me. So I'm dying. I don't want to die by their hands, so you need to kill me instead." But the armor bearer would not, for he was greatly afraid. So Saul took his own sword and fell on it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his armor bearer saw he was dead, and he fell on his own sword. So that's,
I wouldn't call it assisted, but influenced.
sympathetic suicide, right?
Man, I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you right now. You think about that level of suicide, killing yourself with a sword.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
But I mean, think about Jonestown, man.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, but drinking stuff's terrible. But I'm just thinking, a freaking sword. If I'm gonna kill myself with a sword, is that like what was it, the Chinese, the samurais? They
Yeah.
used to do the thing.
Yeah.
They would impale themselves and then
Was it
pull the
Senbaku?
blade up.
Yeah.
Yeah, gut themselves.
That's
Woo!
no. See, that's why you should go to a medical professional.
We will get it right the first
That's
time.
exactly
Yes.
right. Yes. But then the wild thing about this Saul story is David. This young man comes to David and says, Saul and Jonathan are dead. And he says, "How do you know that they're dead?" He said, "Well, I already saw Jonathan, but then by chance I happened to be on Mount Gilboa, and behold, Saul was leaning on his spear, and the chariots and the horsemen were pursuing him. And he looked behind him, and he saw me, and he called me, and I said, 'Here I am.' He said, 'Who are you?' And I answered, 'I'm an Amalekite.'" We know about the Amalekites.
Yeah.
And he said, "Please stand beside me and kill me, for agony has seized me, because my life still lingers in me."
So even after he had fallen on it,
Yep. So I stood beside him and killed him, because I knew that he could not live after he had fallen. And I took the crown on his head, and the bracelet was on his arm, so he has those things with him. And he's thinking that he's going to get a prize.
Yeah,
you know,
he gets a prize, all right.
Yeah.
He gets
That's right.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And David says, how is it you were not afraid to stretch out your hand to destroy the Lord's anointed? And so he says, go cut him down. He struck him and he died. He said, your blood is on your head, for your mouth has testified against you, saying, I have killed the Lord's anointed. So David doesn't have a lot of good things to say about assisted.
No.
Yeah.
No, he assists some death afterwards.
This is David assisted death.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dad.
We're going to have
Dad.
a lot of acronyms on this one.
I know. And then we got, Paul's thorn in the flesh. He asked God to take it away many, many times. God says, persevere. And then he says that verse about to remain in the flesh is more necessary on your account.
Yep.
Well, and man, look, I think about perseverance when I think about Jesus. I mean, man, look at the level of perseverance. He literally persevered just until his body just was physically just gone.
Absolutely.
Well, think of all the heroes of the Bible, like Judas, even modern history, Hitler. These people, they just took their own way out.
Yeah.
And they're heroes, we hold them up.
Well, here's the funny thing I just thought of. We are going to get blasted on so many keywords because we've used
all of them.
Death and suicide and euthanasia
That's
and
true.
Hitler.
Yeah. Yes, Pat hit the Hitler one there for us.
The trifecta.
Yes.
Yeah,
If we're going to get canceled, we're canceled by everybody.
We're going to hit them all in here.
If the helicopters come, we're just going to have to.
Yeah, I live at Holly
I'll
Grove.
follow my sword and you finish the job, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a very interesting thing that I did. I asked Claude. I said, first of all, I asked him about some of the ethical issues and some of the biblical issues, and he had some very good input there.
Right.
Then I said, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus say about this?
WWJD.
Yeah, exactly.
Going
That's
back
exactly
old
right.
school, man.
Well, it says that in light of the discussion we've been having about medically assisted, what do we call it? Medical assistance in dying. Yeah.
In dying.
As Led Zeppelin would put it, in my time of dying.
Oh, nice reference. Way to pull that one up from the
There
archives.
we go.
Good job.
Now, I have heard this hilariously, though, that Jesus' statement that no one takes my life from me, I lay it down with my own accord.
Yes.
Talk about some twisted scripture right there.
Yeah, but he didn't stay dead.
No, he sure did not.
There's a catch there.
And he didn't, never mind. Anyway, silly statement. Okay, so here's what Jesus did in light of this discussion. He healed suffering rather than ended the sufferer. He valued the vulnerable, the lepers, the paralytics, the blind. Those society wrote off.
The ones that they would have medically assisted.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Either healed them or sat with them. Jesus wept with those who wept. He entered into their suffering. He redeemed suffering by using it for God's glory, i.e. the man born blind. And then, like you mentioned, Logan, a minute ago, faced his own horrific death without escape, although he could have.
That's what I was going to say. When he was getting beaten, he could have just stopped it.
Yeah.
It could have been done.
He could have waved his hand. He could have done what Elijah did, just called down fire from heaven on him.
What's so interesting about Jesus throughout all this, though, is no one in Scripture ever died in Jesus' presence.
No, you're right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Everything came to life in Jesus' presence. Nobody died. Or if they were dead, they came back to life.
That's right.
That's right.
I was going to say, the thief on the cross.
That's why they broke their legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this quote. Christian ethicist Gilbert Meilander said, "We should maximize care rather than minimizing suffering, which might include eliminating the sufferer."
So it might so minimizing the suffering can mean eliminate the sufferer.
Which is what this whole
Was that just a
says.
really fancy way of saying throw the baby out with the bathwater?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Because if you're saying, well, we need to minimize the suffering. Well, the best way to do that is just to eliminate what is
Just to
suffering.
kill you. Yeah.
Exactly.
What if our point of view is these people are what's causing us suffering? Can we just get rid of these people?
Well, you mentioned Hitler, and that was his philosophy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Or, we can just do weapon assistant.
Right,
die.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. WAD. Oh man.
No, it's got to be weapon assisted passing, so it could be WAP.
WAP or WAP. Isn't that
I don't
know,
think we
isn't
need to do. I don't think we need. There's another key word. We cannot do that.
This one is just
WAP, worship and praise, man.
we're making we're making this an enjoyable journey through
I'm
suicide.
trying
I hear it
hard,
on you,
man, but God.
I know. And so here's just to finish it off because we got a few minutes left. I want to. I asked him also, Claude, to give me some good, kind of questions, food for thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, the way that I set this prompt up every time is I tell Claude exactly what the name of the podcast is, what kind of it is, and I always say I have two co-hosts that are younger than me. Who are well versed in the Bible, but not super educated in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then I am the older Bible expert.
Nice.
That's
fact.
That's very
That's fact.
accurate.
I am not a Bible expert, but I need to tell Claude that
So that
he'll kind of get some of these.
Yeah.
So that's why.
would
That might
say
be
you
the
got that.
nicest way Peter's called us dummies before.
Yeah, and I would say you're on that expert level. Yeah.
I maybe on a good day, but anyway, so this is a list of questions that you would possibly ask a Bible expert about this whole stuff.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a Bible expert, I play one on Sundays, but I'm not. So the question is, isn't forcing someone to suffer cruel?
No.
Are you forcing them?
Forcing them to continue suffering.
I've got mixed feelings on that.
I do too.
Because I look at, was it cruel of God when Job was going through what he was going through?
Right.
Because God never abandoned Job.
And he didn't alleviate his suffering until a particular time.
Yep.
And the solution was not to allow Job to die.
Yep.
And Job never thought that his solution was to allow himself to die.
Yeah.
He didn't want to die, even though he was in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
And if you're still alive, suffering hasn't killed you yet.
I know, and it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one suffering right now in that way.
Yeah.
But I like one of these answers here. It says true care. Okay, suffering is real and terrible, but the solution isn't elimination of the person.
Right.
And then it says true care is sometimes holding someone's hand and suffering right alongside them, not taking their life or suggesting they take their own.
Yeah.
We should be advocating for better palliative care, not easier death. And I think that's a key word, easier death, right?
Yeah.
And then Romans 12:15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's point well taken right there. And then it says, what about people in vegetative states?
Well, ask them.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Yes.
Yeah. It says basic care, food, water, hygiene should continue unless the body can no longer process it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he calls upon James 1:5 to ask for wisdom. And I think that's very good too.
Yeah.
Isn't this just imposing our religious views? Aren't we just viewing this with a, kind of a naivety or something like that?
When did Switzerland legalize this?
Yeah.
In 40-something?
42.
So, yeah, I think all the way up to that point, we all said death is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus died and rose again to literally defeat death.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we got something wrong the last 80 years.
Well, and I was going to say, is this imposing on religious views? Well, to be honest with you, we should navigate life with our religious views as a guiding light. So, every decision ought to be.
I'm just going to say this. We don't see this legal in any Muslim countries.
Yeah.
We don't see this legal in any Buddhist countries.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not our religious views.
It's
I
not-
believe
yeah.
it's a humane view.
Yeah.
Right. And he makes a good point here. He says that cultures throughout history recognize suicide as wrong.
Yeah.
This is in every ancient country's sort of law code.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that, and honestly, adultery is right in every one of them.
That's right.
As well,
Mm-hmm.
And so, don't kill people and don't kill yourself and don't cheat on your spouse.
And don't do it at the same time.
And don't
Especially.
help each other do either.
Even the Hippocratic Oath, which was pre-Christian, said doctors should do no harm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not a religious standpoint at all. So, to heal, not to harm, and certainly not to kill.
It's one thing them Greeks got right.
That's exactly right. They had a lot of other things messed up.
Almost everything else.
Yeah. So then we kind of get into a little bit of the what we talked about a second ago, the gospel connection to this whole thing. Death is an enemy, but Christ has defeated it. Mm-hmm. Because of the resurrection, death doesn't have the final word. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know Christ, suicide will not end suffering.
That's true.
But will begin eternal suffering.
Yeah.
So Christians should want to allow as much opportunity as possible for people to find Christ before they die.
You got to convert them first.
Yeah, then you can kill them.
Yeah.
It's like if you will just recite the Lord's Prayer.
That's exactly right. I baptize you and now take them pills.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. Our hope isn't in controlling our exit. That is a good line. Our hope is not in being able to have death on our own terms.
That's right.
That's no hope at all.
Yeah.
Our hope is in Christ who conquered death. Revelation 21:4, he will wipe away every tear. There will be no more death or pain. All of these things are part of our gospel narrative that says death is in the hands of God.
Yeah.
Right? And then he talks about some of these action points for Christians. He talks about building community. Loneliness and isolation, he mentions this article, drive many of the medically assisted dying requests.
I believe it.
I'm too lonely. I'm too isolated. It making me depressed and anxious and all these different kinds of things.
Yep.
Plus, we are told in no uncertain terms in James 1:27 for sure to visit the sick and the dying. The whole section in Matthew 25. I was sick and you didn't care for me. I was in prison. You didn't come and visit me. If you do that to the least of these, you're doing that unto Christ.
Yeah.
And then death is always evil and is always the enemy.
Yeah.
It's not to say that somebody dying is the greatest tragedy in the world. If they're a Christian, it's actually the greatest victory in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
But taking death into your own hands is definitely, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's the way I feel like about it. This is the way I think the Bible speaks about it. I don't think that the Bible, just allows you to, there's a lot of killing in the Bible.
Yeah.
A lot. In fact, some of my favorite stories, Jael and the tent peg. This is just a great story. Involve that. But this whole idea that we should be able to have everything on our own terms really disturbs me. And a lot of this parallel between medical assistance in death and abortion and, the kind of gender clinics and, all the ways that we are trying to literally, all the genetic selections and,
Playing God.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
We can make humans in our own image.
We don't, I think it's kind of our desire to know everything. I think there's a weird element to this medically assisted in dying. I think that part of that is a knowing factor because we don't know. I don't know. I might drop dead tomorrow. And so I feel like there's a level of God playing here where people are like, all right, I've scheduled.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know when it's going to be.
And I've decided when it is unbearable for me to live.
Yep.
I've decided when there is officially no more hope for me.
Well, and it undermines the whole Christian life if you think about it. Because let's say, all right, I decided 2035 on January 5th. Yeah, I'm checking out, right? So I got all the way to January 24th to come to Christ.
Yeah.
So I can live however I want to up to that point. And then now, okay, all right, I know tomorrow is my appointment, so I better get right with Jesus today.
I'd probably get in a car wreck on the way there.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And God says, you miscalculated.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
Leap year, son.
It's actually going to happen a year before that.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's wild, man. But I agree with Logan 100%. I think this is another attempt at a control factor.
Yeah.
I think it's my terms. I control it. I feel in control. I know what's going to happen. I don't have to face the unknown.
Well, and do any of us have the ability, let alone the right, to say, I officially declare that it's never getting better?
Right.
that there will not there's not going to be any more beautiful moments in my life.
Right.
Because I have known people who are in constant suffering and constant pain, that, you know, some of them would even, you know, make their way to church. They were, you know, medicated enough to, you know, kind of make it. And then somebody would put a little infant baby in their hands, and there was just joy all over their face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just decided that those things aren't worth it.
Yep.
That it's never going to get any better from here. And my family doesn't matter. Like, people are inviting their family to these. I mean, that just seems so twisted and sick to me.
And also there's a lack of gratitude.
Oh, that's a good point. That's another factor.
Because if you
You're
have
not thankful for life at all.
if you have gratitude in some way, shape, or form, that cannot exist.
Yeah.
And isn't that the way that we pray? My old granddad used to pray that way. You know, Lord, if I'm not thankful for anything, I'm thankful for getting up, getting me up this morning.
Dude,
every breath that I take.
When I take the kids to school, we always pray on the way to school. And that's one of the things that I usually just.
Because you're super religious.
Super religious, yes. I read the Bible while driving.
Yes, absolutely.
But I do always pray and thank God. I'm like, even if it's raining, if it's sunny, if the harvest has sucked or whatever, and I do not say this to toot my own horn. I don't pray as often as I ought to, but when I take the kids to school, I'm like, I always make it a point, and I always say, God, we thank you for the sunshine. Thank you for the day. I just thank you for the day. I'm on this side of the dirt. I'm thankful.
And I think loneliness plays right against gratitude, for sure. Because like we're all surrounded by people all the time. It doesn't mean you're having real connections.
Yeah.
Just because you got a big group you're a part of does not mean you have connections. I mean, a personal, real relationship with people. You know, and when we don't have that, that is the antithesis of. I mean, it's the antagonist of gratitude.
Yeah.
When you're lonely, it is. It's hard to be grateful when you're by yourself and you feel like it's you against the world.
Sometimes I am alone, and I'm very grateful for that. Because I don't always get to be alone. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, I think alone and lonely are two different things.
Oh, completely. That is exactly right.
See, I'm actually a lot of company to myself.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely get it. I think that isolating yourself is a dark. It's just a breeding ground for darkness.
Sure.
I mean, you get into a bad place. The worst thing you can do is just pull away from everyone.
Yep.
And
that is our inclination sometimes, especially when we are the sort of originators of our own mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
That we don't want to come into.
You don't want to be a burden.
No, and you oftentimes don't want to reveal kind of what a screw up you've been.
Yep.
And I've been there. I have been there so many times.
Yep.
But I will say that I have learned over my long life that honestly, so much of this can be at least alleviated with finding a good community of faith.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Jewish community of faith.
Even if it's Seventh-day Adventist.
You'll have to go on Saturday.
Yes.
But, I know. But really, communities of faith, churches are excellent places to be accepted just as you are.
Yep.
Because that's kind of your get in free card.
Yep.
As that you come just like you are. And I know there's judgmental churches out there. I know there's, cliquey churches and family churches and all this stuff. But I promise you that
there is one for you.
There sure is. I get so upset with this epidemic of loneliness and anxiety and depression and all this stuff. It's not a cure-all for anything, but I promise you it will get better if you have other people around you who will accept you just as you are.
Yeah, well, and then especially I've learned, like this year with farming, as bad as things have been, talking to other farmers, and we just talk to each other, and then you talk to them, and it's like, well, how is it? Well, it's terrible. Yeah. And like, honestly, just talking to other people, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm in the grinder. And
it's not just me.
Yeah, you're like, wow, I'm not alone.
I know. And that's the very most important thing is that you don't have to be alone. You really don't have to be lonely. In fact, you can come and eat a casserole, once every few months. Somebody made with their own hands.
Talking about farming, and you don't have to be lonely. Farmers only.
Yes. I forgot about
Is
that
that
one.
still a thing?
I
I don't know. You're the farmer. Tell us.
Hey, I'm happily married.
He's
I
like,
don't
"I'm
have to.
lonely."
You know,
Lord God, I wouldn't know how to date if I had to.
See, this
Yeah.
research, they would say language matters. It's like, you don't have to be a farmer to be lonely. We will kill you.
That's right. That's right.
Language matters.
Oh man, and I get it. I know there are some terrible, horrible cases. I remember there was one of the Kevorkian cases that was really, it was gut wrenchingly hard, you know, and the person that was suffering wanted to just end it all. And I'm not trying to be insensitive to that,
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
All jokes
but at
aside.
the same time, you know, again, a good community of faith could have rallied around her and offered something.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
here's
Yeah.
the thing: is MAID, as we'll call it, is your last option because you don't have an option after that.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly right.
You know what I mean? Like,
There-
there's other options,
But see, that's the whole thing. You've decided that none of those options will work.
even without trying them.
Yeah.
That's right. You want things on your own terms, even the way you do. The Kessler twins, you know, I mean, they wanted to make sure that they both died on the same day
Yeah,
because they just couldn't imagine.
inconvenience in people's calendar.
Oh, well, and you know, they couldn't imagine life without the other.
Yeah,
You know, they did okay without Yellow the dog, but
sure did. But they want to be well. It's only temporary. They'll be right back.
Yeah.
Right. on the same
I
show.
just and that just happened. I mean, so it I don't know.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. And
know.
it's going to become more prominent. It just will.
It is a growing phenomenon. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted us to really talk about it from, you know, because I mean, we're sitting here in our own context, and I wasn't aware that this was going on everywhere.
I didn't know it was that big of a thing. That's
I
for
know.
sure. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard anything about this since the Kevorkian years.
Right. And
You
I
know what
thought that
mean?
was just like a one-off.
Yeah, I
you know?
did
It's like
too.
some
Yeah.
crazy dude. And apparently now it's like an actual
Yeah.
Man.
thing.
Wild.
One thing I did discover though is that almost all the countries have residency restrictions, so you can't. What they call this MAID tourism.
So you can't live there?
No, you can't just go to that country
Oh,
and
I
die
got
in
you.
that country.
Yeah.
I got you.
What if
'Cause-
you're a dual citizen? Will they like halfway do it?
Chop you in half.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They'll make you halfway dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Switzerland does not. You can go to Switzerland and die,
just-
and they'll take care of you.
Wow, they
Your
import
body.
dead.
Yep.
Okay.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to become a citizen of Switzerland.
Very hard. There's a waiting list
It's like,
to buy property.
you can come here and we'll kill you, but you can't come here and stay.
Nope.
So they're like, wait, 12 months, we can kill you. Citizenship, a lot longer.
Yeah,
A lot
exactly.
longer.
Property ownership, maybe never.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll kill you and we'll send your body back because we ain't burying you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go. Okay,
Dang.
so I just remembered that I have one more joke that absolutely goes perfect. with
All right.
this.
All right.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna end with this this fun little joke here. Okay, so a dad is listening to his daughter say her prayers before bedtime. She says, "God bless mommy, God bless daddy, God bless grandpa, and goodbye grandpa." He's like, "Why did you say that?" "I don't know. I just felt like saying it." The next day, grandpa drops dead. Dad thinks, "Wow, that is an odd coincidence." A month later at bedtime, the daughter prays again, "God bless mommy and daddy, and goodbye grandma." Sure enough, next day, grandma passes away. Now dad is really worried. He doesn't tell his wife. He doesn't want to upset her. But months later at bedtime, the daughter prays once more. "God bless mommy." She looks directly at her dad and says, "And goodbye, daddy."
Oh, gosh.
Dad is terrified. "What? Are you sure?" And she nods. His heart races. He breaks into a sweat and he can't sleep all that night. The next day at work, he locks himself in his office, cancels meetings, and waits for the inevitable. Hour after hour passes. Midnight finally comes, and he realizes that he's still alive. So he's cheated death. He drives home exhausted, nerves shot. His wife is waiting for him. "Where the heck were you today?" And he says, "Don't shout at me. I've had the most miserable day of my life." And she snaps back, "Miserable? You had a miserable day? I'm the one who has a miserable day. The milkman dropped dead on our steps this morning."
Gotcha. Okay.
That is perfect.
That's good. Yeah.
So let us know what you think about all this mess that's going on in the world. And it's just like, as if it weren't enough, we just brought up a whole new one.
Yes. Yes.
So we're happy to bring a little sunshine.
Yes,
There you
exactly.
go. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Comment below. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Share your thoughts with us.
And follow
on
us.
this.
Follow us on all the platforms, especially
Please.
Spotify. Especially, even if you don't even listen to Spotify, go there, find our podcast, follow us on there, and let's bump up those follows a little bit.
And
so we
if
can
you
get
are
some
over
action.
60 years old, I really want to know what you thought about this episode.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will catch you next
Appreciate
week.
you.